This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Joe Miller watches the channel, and he was asking about the Katana Go. I think I may be too late on this video, Joe, for you, because you might have already made a decision, but I wanted to investigate whether you could realistically gig the Katana Go. And basically in this video I'm going to show you how you could connect the Boss FS1 WL as well as the FS6 in what is, I think, quite a flexible kind of situation. Pretty bonkers, pretty insane, that you can actually realistically take this thing and you would have, as I'm going to show you, 3 presets and then 2 global kind of things. So I could turn on delay and boost, turn on or off delay and boost on each preset. That's what I was doing for this video. The downsides for me are that you're going to need this kind of lead, so connecting that connection doesn't feel quite as sturdy as a normal kind of guitar jack. One way around that might be that you could plug an additional delay. Joe plays on a worship team, so an additional delay might not hurt, but you could plug that down on the floor into your delay and then just use a normal jack into your guitar delay pedal, so guitar delay pedal into the Boss Katana Go. Pretty crazy. Also an ideal practice rig at home. In terms of getting audio tracks into here, I think you'd need to pair it up with your phone, although you could use it as an interface, so USB-C on the back. If you just hook it up to your computer, it'll play audio that way as well, I think, right? So pretty bonkers to think that you could get all of this into your little man bag, take that to a gig. A really lightweight gigging solution, which is actually even more flexible than my HX Stomp rig that I gigged for a while. Question I would have is, wouldn't the Boss GT1 basically do all of this, maybe a little more? And the answer to that might be yes. The other cool thing that I would mention is that Alec Bourne, Line 6 MIDI man scientist, has got a few groups focused on the the Boss Katana stuff was at Air Groups and the Katana Go, I saw that he had actually put this in the loop of an HX Stomp. And why that is pretty cool is that this has pretty seamless preset changes. And yeah, so just putting one end into the send and plugging back out of the return, you could actually have a really powerful dual DSP kind of rig, you know, an HX Stomp, feed in the Boss Katana Go. I think that's a quite interesting way. I'm going to just read you through Joe's email with some of the key considerations, but I thought this is actually pretty crazy to think that this actually could work quite feasibly on a gig. I think it's the only headphone amp that I've experienced that is this flexible with the foot switching and stuff, and legitimately not just for practice, right? So Joe's question, it looks like I was late on this. I continued down the rabbit hole, and I'm pretty settled on the Pod Express. I think it will serve as a backup and portable practice rig as well. Maybe a simple unit that I can use live at church perhaps. So I might be too late for you, Joe, in which case I'm sorry. He said, when I saw your first video on the Katana, I thought it was a great device that I might want to pick up just for practicing with headphones. I was given the more Prime P1 by my son-in-law Zach a few years ago. I was really looking forward to using it, but soon realised that a key requirement in my workflow was the ability to play along with tracks. As you know, most of my focus is on playing on the worship team at my church. There is no aux input in that unit, so I haven't really used it that much. Also, having a little unit I have to plug my 1/4 inch cable into on one side and then headphone 1/4 cable on the other, just awkward. I use the Headrush Prime, which I purchased. Now I've been using the Prime since it was released. I have two major complaints. First of all, it's huge. I just love plugging in power guitar cable and XLRs on stage at church and get right on to playing, but I'm going to hit 70 this fall. It's big and heavy. The second big issue for me is the Headrush support and firmware release schedule is quite poor. Not much of a following either, so I'm looking to make a change. I'm quite tempted to go back to the Fractal World with the FM3, but following your advice, John, I'm waiting. Okay, so if we're worried about Headrush support and firmware release schedule, then if Headrush is poor, Boss is generally non-existent, so that's worth bearing in mind. So whatever the Katana Go does now, or Katana, or any Boss product, I'd say it's safe to assume that that is what it's gonna be. So my primary use case, I play at church. We use Planning Center Online, where the worship pastor posts the set list, PDFs, music, and MP3s of the song. We rehearse Wednesday night and Sunday morning before the service. We all use tablets to refer to the music as needed during rehearsals and during the service, and play over a click track with missing parts. And we're all using in-ears. Guitars, drums, piano, vocals, and other instruments go direct to the house, except French horn, bass clarinet, etc. French horn, nice. No guitar amps on stage. I work out what patches I'm going to use, tweak them as needed. I thought I'd be doing a lot of patch changes and have a fully featured unit would be a great advantage, but over time I'm settling on a handful that work for most of the songs we do. I think that is the way that many of us end up. I have started mapping my expression pedal to the wet effects so I can keep them at the right level and not get everything too washy. I am adjusting the input level more, just using the volume level on my guitar, and I place the expression pedal at the end of the chain but target delays and ambient reverbs, etc. Seems to be working well. The good thing about using the same unit to play live as rehearse is that at least that is a constant I don't have to worry about. The bad thing is the transport of a large unit, just not sustainable for my church gigging, I think. Really impressed by the tones of Katana Go. I can see this being a great practice tool, and the fact that I can play back the songs into the unit's aux port would solve my practice side issue in a very lightweight manner. I don't actually think that is a possibility, Joe. I think you could play it in via being connected to your phone. I could even practice away from my computer, which would be nice. When you mentioned you could use the 1/4 inch out and potentially plug this into other gear, I thought of plugging it into a direct box on stage and being done without having to deal with such a big floor unit. Of course, the ultra portability is great, but concerns about with such a small unit and being able to practically change presets with the small buttons on the unit come to mind. The Bluetooth remote pedal device, which can be paired, might solve it, but it looks a bit small, a little small for my big feet, and I'm not sure the build quality is there either. So I think the foot switch is actually bigger than it looks. Katana Go and Headrush Prime, completely opposite solutions. So I think the Katana Go is actually quite a bit more versatile than the Pod Express in this particular format. I don't know, let me know your thoughts if this video solves any of that, Joe. I don't know. I think it's definitely possible this could be giggable. Definitely. So we've got the Boss FS1 we've got the Katana Go, and we've got the editor. So I need to pull up the Katana Go editor here. Okay, so I'm going to first of all get rid of these. How do you just delete that? Unpair. Bluetooth. Was it Air MIDI? Unpair. Turn the Katana Go on. Long press the Bluetooth function, I think. Okay, with that one there. Audio. Turn pair. Right, I'm going to turn this off. Then turn this on. Press the Bluetooth instrument setting on the blinks white and pairing begins, stops blinking and remains white when it's paired. Now they're paired. Then I need to press the Bluetooth smartphone button on here. It's super easy, isn't it? Barely an inconvenience. Okay. Blinking, connect. Now it should be looking for the foot switch. We're going to connect to the foot switch. I think, hopefully now, depending on how I've got this set up. Yeah, basically that corresponds to the 3 buttons on the foot switch. Now you could also set that up to be slightly different. So now I could, in theory, have 3 foot switch settings at my feet. I think you can add enough additional controllers to this as well. So I could, let's look into this. We've got this S6 down on the floor. A and B. That will go into control 1 and 2. I think that's so that's kicking on a boost. And that's kicking on or off delay, but I think I need to make sure that I've got things in the right place. So wireless pedal setting, got expression pedal, pedal switch left, pedal switch center, pedal switch right. So that's channel A, channel B and channel C at the moment. Then I could have additional switches which, as you can see, are pretty fully featured. So you've got channel A, channel B, channel C, memory increment, memory decrement, is that the word? Tuner, pedal effects on or off, delay on or off, reverb on or off. So that is pretty wild. So I don't know, let me just think about what I might actually use this for. I think delay on or off, and I think maybe booster on or off, or drive on or off. Might be something that I would actually end up using. I can turn on or off delay and then.